is the Herdline News.
So the 49ers drafted Trey Lance third overall.
Yeah.
They did keep Jimmy Garoppolo, despite many rumors that he might be on the trade block. And CEO Jed York said he's perfectly comfortable with Lance sitting behind Jimmy G for a couple years.
Come on.
If we are in a situation where Jimmy goes out and takes us to the Super Bowl again and has an MVP caliber season and does it again, like there are worse dilemmas to be in. And it's great to have a guy that you do believe in, so you don't have to put the weight of the world on a rookie, whoever it was that we were going to choose. Now that we know that Trey is here, you don't have to put the weight of the world on that kid's shoulders.
Yeah, that's why.
If Jimmy takes them to a Super Bowl and has an MVP caliber season, then we'll have that conversation then. I don't anticipate that for Jimmy G.
You know, I think what you do with Trey Lance is you put him in some of the offense. This is what you do with Justin Fields. We're going to put you in some of the offense. It could be red zone stuff. It could be, but you don't need to just necessarily, because Trey Lance and Justin Fields are better runners than Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes probably the better pure thrower. But these guys are like 6'4", 220, hyper athletic. There's a Cam component here, although I think they're both better throwers than Cam. I could see Trey Lance being in all sorts of sets week one, just not the franchise starting quarterback.
I think they'll wait a little longer to work him in, but I think they should. It's just with Jimmy G, there's no guarantee he's going to be healthy. So to Jed's point, yeah, if they make it to a Super Bowl again with Jimmy G, maybe you hang on to him another year. But if he makes it to a Super Bowl and Trey's ready to play, then he is much more valuable on the trade market if he can make it through an entire season healthy and take San Francisco to the Super Bowl again. Did you have Trey? You took him third overall. Fan base is excited about him, and he's the future. So if he makes it to, if Jimmy G can make it through an entire season, have an MVP level season, and take him to the Super Bowl, then yeah, you're in that dilemma. But there's no guarantee that Jimmy is going to be healthy week one. Right. That's why you took Trey. So it's just like it's an extreme scenario to throw out there. Like, yes, you'd probably be having the conversation about if you keep Jimmy for another year, if you can make it to that point. But that's not why you took Trey third overall. So the Lakers are currently fighting to stay out of the play-in tournament. LeBron will be sidelined tonight against the Clippers and at least tomorrow against the Blazers. They have 7 games left, and head coach Frank Vogel knows this isn't where LeBron hoped to be so close to the end of the season.
It's not an ideal situation. Ideally, he gets 100% and has 10 games to get his legs and rhythm and timing under him. We're not going to have that. We want him back as soon as possible, but we want him back as healthy as possible. That's the number one goal. Wherever we end up in the standings, we want him as healthy as possible going into the playoffs. And other than that, we're just going to compete and win as many games as we can down the stretch here.
I forgot about the storm is coming Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's missed 21 games this season to the ankle injury, 22 games total.
LeBron gets hurt now. The new LeBron.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's getting older. He's played, forget how many seasons he's played.
Games.
Think about how many games in the postseason he's played. All of those total up to an entire additional season.
Yeah.
So, yes, like it's not unrealistic that he would be more banged up, and they had a shortened offseason, and they went the furthest along with the Heat in the bubble. So all this makes sense. It's just unfortunate because they're now in a situation because they weren't able to maintain without him, and of course Anthony Davis got hurt, that they might be looking at a play-in game. Now, I hate that for the NBA because nobody wants to see the Lakers get bumped in a play-in game.
It's a disaster potentially for the NBA having a bad ratings stretch. It is. It's bad. I mean, the Denver-Milwaukee, the draft got 13 million people. Denver-Milwaukee probably gets 5 million viewers. Finals. You want LeBron in.
It's no shade to Denver and Milwaukee.
No,
they're wonderful American cities. But this is a business. And the big brands matter. And you just need it. Like, you need LeBron and the Lakers in the playoffs. You don't want them to be in a play-in situation and they happen to lose. They're 6th in the West. They're 1 game ahead of the Blazers right now, who they play tomorrow. So, yeah, we just show the standings. It's not what the Lakers wanted. Like, if anything, you could count on LeBron being healthy. Like, that was sort of what you signed up for with Anthony Davis, because you know that he is often injured and very fragile. So, but LeBron is not. LeBron is the opposite of that. But now, because of partly, I think, due to the pandemic and the switching around of the schedules and everything being, not his usual cadence throughout the off season and even through the season, last year having the 4 months off benefited him. But then it's a sprint through the bubble, and then it's a sprint through the off season, back to a sprint of a condensed season now. So it's just things are not really lining up for the Lakers. Amid recent talks that Aaron Rodgers might leave Green Bay or even retire, one local Wisconsin restaurant decided to make a pitch to keep him around. Mr. Bruce Tap House said it will provide Rodgers and his fiancée, Shailene Woodley, free food and free beer for life if he finishes his career with the Packers.
That is a very attractive offer. By the way, Herdberger would make the same offer if he came out and played in, Los Angeles eventually. I would give you
free beer and free food.
I will. Aaron and his beautiful girlfriend, free Herdberger's fiance, free Herdberger's forever. The Rams don't need a quarterback and the Chargers don't.
Do I get free
and the Niners
beer and burgers from Herdberger?
Or are you leaving? Are you leaving?
No.
It's only for people who threaten to leave.
Yeah, I might leave. I might. Herdberger does have good burgers. Well, the owner said in a news release that we can't let Aaron go. No way, no how. They also started a Save Aaron Rodgers campaign on their Facebook page. Save Aaron Rodgers. Forget Save the Whales. It's Save Aaron Rodgers now. Look, I get it. The Packers fan. This cannot have been a great 2 weeks for Packers fans.
If Jordan Love can play, it's not the end of the world. It all comes down to the front office and scouts. If he can play, you're going to have a 24-year-old guy who you're not paying for 3 years as a starter. That's what it comes down. If he can play, this is not great, but it's not a disaster.
I don't know. I don't like to bet on outliers for the future of my organization. I bet outliers all the time, but I don't bet them for the future. And that going from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to another first ballot Hall of Famer feels a bit like a stretch.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody has that much luck in the world.
That's fair. All reasonable. Joy with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Line.
Now, Aaron's 37. I don't know if he has the Brady gene, but I do think he's going to be in this sport for 4 or 5 or 6 more years, potentially. I think he could play to 42 or 43. It's easy throwing. He's got some collarbone issues, but he's a pretty easy thrower. Next, we'll play air in or air out. Quarterbacks I would or wouldn't take next 10 years over Aaron Rodgers. I said 5 years. Staff made me take 10. It creates some interesting dilemmas. Now, you all know of Tecovas. Now, Tecovas